Hi, Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. For this week's video, I'm going to extract 3 key points out of a recent club demo I did for a couple of clubs in the East on threading. So the one prime concern is you're at the end of a very involved project, say an expensive burrow or this segmented pet urn, and now it's time for a secure lid on this that you want to be threaded. What are you going to do? Are you going to thread directly into this wood and risk damaging or ruining that large and involved project? Solution? Use an insert so that is separable, and so this project's on its own. This is another smaller project that's very doable. And then you can put it all together for the final project. So, next question is, what do you make your insert from? Traditionally, these are very hard, dense woods because the grain is a problem when you're threading wood. And they are then tropical hardwoods and very expensive, and you're depleting the rainforest. What's the alternative? The alternative is to use a segmented approach out of fairly common wood, such as this cherry, which has a uniform wood density, very easily threaded, and since it's segmented, the grain orientation is for the strongest way that you can form and hold a thread, and that is with the long grain going continuously around the segment. So much better alternative than the expensive woods, and then you can control it. If you do it on your own faceplates, you have total control until it's time to finally glue it in. So number 3 is going to be the main topic inside this video, and that is, how do you overcome your fear of threading? And there's a couple of key things in there that I'll go through in the video so that is no longer a problem. So instead of buying an expensive jig to do threading, let's just settle down, learn a good basic skill, and go for it.
I recently got a great tip from Frank Young, a mentor, that I passed on. We made a training threaded ring to practice on. In every other time that an expert has attempted to coach me, they never mentioned anything like this. RPM does not matter. There is no magic RPM. What matters is that I can maintain the rhythm of moving across the tool rest proportionate to the RPM. To do this, Frank had me practice with the tool high on its back edge so that it would not cut. The key is to develop muscle memory before I switch to the actual project. Frank mentioned that he uses this when beginning a threading project when it has been a while since the last project. But what do I do if I don't have a prior threaded item to practice with? I remembered that a standard 3/8 inch bolt has 16 threads per inch, the same as my thread chasers. So I grabbed a hex bolt and cut off the head. Then I chucked it into my long nose chuck. Then I made the same movement, but with a pencil in the threads as I would do with the chasing tool. A few minutes of practice with a pencil, and I am ready to go for real. Now to start chasing a female thread. I have decided that I am an aggressive turner. I want to get shavings flying. I let myself go naturally fast while starting the female threads. I want to get them started. The threads are started on the front edge, but before going further, I want to check them. I made a starting mark near the edge, then followed the first thread with a pencil for 1 full revolution back to the mark. After 1 revolution, the thread is 2 threads away from the start point, rather than 1. It is double threaded. There is no fix. I reamed out the threads and started over, this time forcing myself to go more slowly to the rhythm that I had practiced. Another test with the pencil. This time I am good to finish the female threads. Next, the male threads. After starting the threads, I take a break to test for double threading. It is okay to finish the threads with a typical test trim until it fits.
So now you've learned the basics of how to train your hand and develop the muscle memory so that you too can thread, and you don't have to be a super pro in order to thread. You just need the appropriate tools, which are not that expensive. You've learned to do them into segmented wood that is very reasonable in price, and to separate it from your big project. So now you can be a pro too. So now remember, I make a new wood turning video every week. Stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and stay safe. Always wear your face shield.